Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of To The Point. Today's topic of discussion is India's fiscal deficit. First of all, let's see why is it in the news. According to the latest World Bank report, India's fiscal deficit is expected to shrink continuously, driven by growing tax revenues. The report noted that this trend will contribute to government fiscal consolidation policies. Now let's discuss about fiscal deficit. A fiscal deficit occurs when a government's total expenditures exceed its total income, excluding borrowings. This shortfall is a key indicator of financial health and economic policy. As of January 2025, India's fiscal deficit for the financial year 2024-25 is projected at 4.9% of GDP, amounting to approximately 16.1 trillion rupees. India's fiscal deficit trends over the past decade highlight shifts in financial management. In 2013-14, the deficit was 4.5% of GDP, reducing to 3.4% by 2018-19 due to fiscal consolidation. However, subdued revenue growth widened the deficit to 4.6% in 2019-20. The COVID-19 pandemic caused an unprecedented surge, with the deficit peaking at 9.3% of GDP in 2020-21 due to increased healthcare and economic relief spending. Subsequent years showed steady improvement, with the fiscal deficit targeted at 5.6% in 2023-24 and projected at 5.1% in 2024-25. The government aims to reduce the deficit below 4.5% by the financial year 26. Now let's talk about India's fiscal deficit global comparison. India's fiscal deficit remains relatively high among emerging markets, alongside countries like Brazil and China. Developed economies such as the US and the United Kingdom have reported significantly higher deficits, estimated at 8.8% and 6.5% of GDP in 2023, respectively, reflecting increased pandemic-related spending. In contrast, countries like Germany and Australia exhibit stronger fiscal discipline, with deficits around 1% to 2% of GDP, showcasing varying economic policies and recovery strategies. Now let's discuss about fiscal deficit calculation. The fiscal deficit is calculated as the difference between a government's total expenditure and total revenue. Expenditures include revenue spending on salaries and operations, along with capital investments in infrastructure. Revenue sources include taxes and non-tax avenues, such as fees and dividends. While fiscal deficits can stimulate growth through investments in infrastructure and social programs, persistent deficits often lead to increased national debt. Now lastly, moving on to impact of persistent fiscal deficits. Persistent fiscal deficits can strain public finances, increasing debt and the cost of repayment. High borrowing may reduce private investments, slow growth, and drive inflation. It can also weaken investor confidence, raise borrowing costs, and risk credit downgrades. Limited national savings affect public services and long-term growth, making the economy more vulnerable and less prepared for future crises. Now is the time for practice question. Consider the following statements about fiscal deficit. 1. A fiscal deficit occurs when a government's total expenditures exceed its total income, including borrowings. 2. The government aims to reduce the deficit below 3.5% by the financial year 2025-26. Which of the statements given above are correct? Option A, 1, only option B, 2, only option C, both 1 and 2 option D, neither 1 nor 2. Send the answer to this question in the comment section. Thanks for watching. For more informative content, like, share and subscribe. And do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe. And do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.